Skodas are kind of like the Aldi supermarkets of the car world. A little bit Euro, a little bit different, but generally good quality and value for money.
That's especially true of this particular SUV, a new base grade Karoq, which is priced under 40k drive away, affordable enough to make even Chinese brands check their collective rear view mirrors.
So how is this European import priced so competitively? That, dear viewers, is what I aim to find out. Is it just a stripped out marketing exercise or all the car you'll ever need? Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. Onward.
We're testing the new entry-level Skoda Karoq, which is simply called, well, Karoq. It was originally launched globally back in 2017 and first came to Australia in mid-2018 when it replaced the Skoda Yeti.
And the weird Karoq name? Well, it comes from an Alaskan dialect that blends the word car, meaning car, and ruk, meaning arrow, which is part of the Skoda logo. Pretty cool.
Traditional rivals include any mid-size SUV, such as the top-selling Toyota RAV4 to the Subaru Forester, but it should be noted the Czech-built SUV is a bit shorter than most SUVs in its class.
As the price leader in the Karoq range, this base model represents very good value for money, priced at just under $40,000, drive away, no more to pay.
Like all Skodas, this one comes with a solid 7-year warranty, and service costs and intervals aren't too bad either, averaging around $390 per year.
There's nothing particularly exciting or intriguing about this small 4-cylinder engine, but Skoda does claim it generates maximum torque or thrust at 1500 RPM. That's very low in the rev range, almost as low as a diesel engine, but we'll soon see. The turbo petrol engine hooks up to a conventional 8-speed automatic transmission driving the front wheels, which should be more reliable and predictable than the controversial dual clutch gearboxes these Volkswagen Group cars used to come with. Okay, first impressions inside this cheap and cheerful SUV are surprisingly positive. You've got twin digital screens. The overall layout is good, it's quite thoughtful. I love this smooth modern gear shifter and the steering wheel. You've got perforated leather wrapping with the flat bottom. It is just gorgeous. I really like touching it.
The seats are best described as fit for purpose. I like how there's solid bolstering and also wide shoulder support up top. Seat adjustment is manual, and although you get height adjust, moving the backrest angle takes forever with these old school dials. Storage solutions in this SUV are pretty good, and the brand's simply clever catch cry is more than just savvy marketing. Check it out, there's a lot to get through, starting with this dash mounted cubby there. There's an umbrella holder in the door pocket, and the door pockets themselves are quite deep and have an elastic fastener in there. You've also got a parking ticket holder, and then in the middle we've got 2 cup holders, and they're not massive though, they're quite small. They don't fit my medium-sized bottle, which is a shame, but this is modular, so you can pull it out and have a lot more room there, which I really like. There's also a sunglasses holder up here, very nice. A push button glove box, a little bit small, and an area under here. Twin USB-C ports, a 12-volt socket, but no wireless phone charger. And lastly, a secret stash drawer. Love that. Infotainment systems are not groundbreaking, but if you're coming from a 5-year-old vehicle, you won't be disappointed with the high-definition 8-inch central screen, complete with gesture control. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are nice touches, but no sat-nav. Did I mention how salacious this steering wheel is? That said, these semi-floating silver dials feel a little bit cheap, but they look great and they're very effective at changing all the information on the digital instrument display. The 8-inch display looks fantastic, there's heaps of driving data and a reasonable amount of customizability as well. You get a reversing camera with Atari Lynx graphics from the 1990s, translation low res and blotchy by modern standards. There's no overhead view or auto parking features, but front and rear parking sensors are most welcome. The Karoq scored a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating in 2017, though that has now expired in 2024, but it does come with most of the key safety technologies. There's actually reasonable room in the back seat. I've got the driver's seat where I have it in that driving position, and I've got okay legroom, very good headroom. It's not quite as spacious as some of the larger, newer mid-size SUVs out there, but it's not too bad. You've got twin air vents, a little bit of storage, a 12-volt socket down here, but no USB ports. That's a bit annoying. Seat back pockets, door pockets here, plus fold-out armrest with more cup holders and the usual ISOFIX and top tether child seat anchorages. The manually operated tailgate reveals a pretty big boot space. You've got a low boot floor, which is nice, and there's loads of flexibility, starting with this luggage rack with movable shopping bag hooks. You flick them up, slide them along, lock them into place, and it is fantastic. One of the best systems I've used in any SUV. Plus, there's plenty of little extra storage areas. 1, 2, 3 shelves, complete with fasteners, and check this out. A full-size steel spare wheel, which is ultra rare in a European SUV. Overall boot space is pretty good for a mid-size SUV, and you get these easy access seat fold levers that open up more cargo space. Thus far, I'm liking the vibe of this cheap SUV, but will she dance to a similar tune? Cue the driving music. I think I'm still vibing. Yep, I'm definitely still vibing. It feels responsive and peppy and light on its feet. First impressions are pretty good. But first, let's discuss the small turbo petrol engine. It's quiet and composed at regular speeds and generates reasonable mid-range torque to zip around the suburbs. The spec sheet that insists maximum torque starts to hit at about 1500 RPM is a bit hard to believe. To me, it doesn't feel like this engine wakes up until about 3000 RPM. The 8-speed transmission isn't quite as pert and perky as the dual-clutch DSG that was available in previous versions of the Karoq, but it's not a huge trade-off in my mind, and it's almost certainly going to be more resilient in the long run. Alright, let's talk steering and handling dynamics, and it doesn't take much time behind the wheel to realise this is pretty sure-footed through roundabouts and corners, and certainly feels far more responsive and confident than most of the new Chinese metal we've tested lately. The steering is ultra light and responsive, which works well in its natural habitat, the exurbs and suburbs. Ride comfort is also compliant over well-maintained surfaces, but can feel a little firm over rougher roads and bigger bumps. Apart from the odd suspension thump over potholes and the like, refinement levels are pretty good. It's relatively quiet in most scenarios, with only a hint of tyre roar at higher speeds, and is also impressively efficient. I couldn't quite match the official figures, but came well within striking range. While the exterior design is looking a little bit dated and daggy, those slab-sided flanks provide a really good view from the captain's chair, and the upright windows deliver very good sight lines as well, which combine nicely with that slightly elevated SUV ride height. And although it is getting on in years and will be due for a replacement soon, in a lot of ways the recipe has been refined and honed. It's at the end of its life cycle, and it's been bedded in, nailed down, and feels very solid. There is nothing intrinsically wrong with this car. It represents good value, and although it's not quite as big as most of its mid-size rivals, it has some really thoughtful convenience features. Granted, there's no sunroof, there's no sat-nav, there's no leather seats, but for all that, it doesn't feel like a budget hotel. Yes, it's cheap, but it's also competent and engaging to drive, and ultimately very much fit for purpose. And that steering wheel, the perforations and the
flat bottom. Oh, thanks for watching. Hope you found the video informative. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Is that steering wheel truly a thing of beauty?